Greetings and welcome to my channel. My name is Michael Vane. I'm an author and artist living in Virginia, and I'm not wearing any pants. Just kidding, I really am wearing pants. Anyway, I like to talk about different aspects of writing and publishing on this channel, as well as other issues that authors face and the strange and unusual that pertain to the genre that I normally write in. For those few viewers that I have and followers, I have to apologize. I haven't made a video in quite some time. I've been dealing with some health issues that have made it very difficult for me to work, and I've been trying to deal with other life factors in the meantime, which is the same reason that I haven't had any news for any new books or anything that's coming out in the near future, although I am working on several projects when time allows. One is a screenplay of my third book, Permutations of Reality, and I'm also going to be narrating that into a audiobook in the near future. There is another book on the way. It's going to take some time to percolate. There's not a whole lot of news to give about that right now. It's going to take some time to develop, although it is in the process of shaping up, and is going to be a little bit different than my previous three works. I try to vary things a great deal from one story to another, mainly to entertain myself, but also to give a more wider range of thought in my work. On this particular video, I'd like to discuss characters, because in my opinion, that is probably the single most important aspect of any work of fiction, are the characters that inhabit that story and that world. If you can have the most amazing plot line and most surreal events, but nobody's going to really be invested in them if the characters are just plain and maybe just boring. I know that some authors have problems in developing the characters. Usually not the main character; it's the little characters and details that a lot of authors get hung up on, and it's in those details that give a more rich texture to the narrative that you're trying to give, whether to set a mood or to establish realism. The point is, the more your readers get invested in your characters, the more successful that you'll be and the more engaging your story will be. And these characters are everywhere. I draw on a lot of sources for mine. I've never really had a problem in being inspired or what type of characters you use in my books, because I see normal people every day. And to me, that's the easiest source for an author to get realism out of his work, is to describe real people. Sometimes I use people with their permission and their knowledge, and other times I just use certain details or habits or description of them that is close enough for my work. It doesn't have to be paragraphs long. You don't have to go into an entire backstory for every character that you present in your story. A lot of times they're just very small supporting characters, like a clerk at a store or a worker that someone has to talk to at Walmart. You know, there's all kinds of normal people that can support a horror or science fiction or other narrative and make it that much more realistic in the process. So what I would advise is, instead of worrying over those details, is that you become more observant in that process and just take notes. The next time you go out and you're buying gas at your local 7-Eleven, take a look at what the person looks like. If you're riding a bus, you can see the other people on the bus, people that you work with. You can use and mix and match these attributes to create some very realistic characters. And that's one of the reasons, and is particularly in the horror genre, that Stephen King is so successful, because he can ground the story in realism with realistic characters that you can believe and be sympathetic with, and then put them in the most outrageous situations or circumstances, and you're still along for the ride because you've already become invested in that character's personality. Um, I think I've been relatively successful in a few of my stories in presenting this, one or two characters in my second book, and in my third novel particularly. I had the pleasure of meeting people that, one in particular, that gave me permission to use them realistically in the story. This was a woman that I met through research. I was attempting to find some means of support and help for my first wife, who has since passed away. But at that time, she was dealing with cancer. And through one of these support groups, I met a very nice woman who was very helpful. And during conversations with her, we developed an online friendship. And she herself was also dealing with that dreaded disease. I believe I've covered this before, probably in other conversations and other videos. But her presence and her bravery definitely inspired me, and drove me to contact her personally. And after that meeting, where we were able to discuss things in general and our philosophies on life and death and the afterlife and all that kind of stuff. She just inspired me to include her in my story. So I gave her a call and asked if I could put her life story basically into the backbone of the story, and she told me that she would be very honored if I did that. And I still think about this person quite a bit. She was a brave woman, very friendly, and very wise for her time, and I miss her very much. Also, this was, to be honest, was a month of some tribulations, which is why I haven't really done any writing. In fact, the whole month has been full of rather dark anniversaries. My first wife's birthday fell this month, which is something of a sad anniversary considering she passed away. Also, it was the anniversary earlier in the month of my forward ejection through the sunroof of an SUV that was flipping over at 40 miles an hour, which has led to the continuing health problems that I experience today. I don't expect those to actually delay my writing, though, so we're going to have some new work coming in the future. I'm very much looking forward to writing my fourth book. It's going to be a fun ride, and I'm going to use the principle that I've described earlier about people in real life, using them as models for characters, which you're perfectly free to do as an artist, especially as an author when you're writing fiction. As long as you're not presenting these characters as fact, as truth, you're protected legally. So have fun. This is why basically my ex appears in every story that I've written, in the matter in which, to a large degree, is truthful, but I don't attach them to a specific name or process by which would hold me legally responsible. But those who know me know exactly what the deal is. But you can use these people in that literary sense. The basic facets of their behavior and their habits, different things that you notice, and this will make your characters more realistic and breathe more life into them. And in that respect, once you have that, if you can master that skill, then I think it's even more important than plot. Certain basic elements of showing, not telling, of character development, and then of plot and story arc. And if you might master those points, then you're going to you may not sell millions of books, but you'll turn out good work as an artist. And for that, I think is more important unless you're actually the type of person that is in it solely for the money. And for me, the difference between an artist and a professional, so to speak, is that one is driven by passion and need, and the other one is driven by money and routine. So I guess you have to ask yourself which of those you really are. I know which side I'm on, which is why I only have a few followers. But hopefully that will change. There are some things coming up in the future that I will be doing efforts of marketing my work. So hopefully this will spread my work to more people. So if you like this video, if you like the information that I give you, if you're curious about my work, my name is Michael Vane. My work can be found on Amazon. I write primarily in the horror and dark suspense genres, though I do tend to strange fiction and other realms as well. So if you want to tune in again, please like and subscribe. I'm not only going to be talking about writing aspects, but other things that I write about, which would include other elements of reality, of the paranormal, and other things will be future topics. So be sure to tune in. And until then, stay creative and keep writing. Take care.